What's up and welcome to the Sam Dracula channel, Charlotte Hornets fan channel, and we're going to talk Summer League. But before I do that, I got to say thank you. We hit 4,000 subscribers on the channel, and I couldn't be more grateful. So thank you to you watching this. I appreciate you for subscribing to this channel, and look forward to continuing to go, onwards and upwards as we continue to grow things, a community around here of Hornets fans on YouTube. In this video, I'm going to talk about game 1 and game 2 of the Summer League. There's no video. I didn't make a video on game 1 for a few reasons, mainly because I was just busy on Sunday. I didn't have time and didn't catch the game until much later in the night. I DVR'd it and started watching it like at 10 p.m. So there's no time to do a video on it. And then also, Sunday and Monday, those games are back to back anyway. So I thought it'd be better for me, at least, so I can just keep myself from overreacting too much after one Summer League game to talk about 2 games as a bigger sample size. And just in case you're wondering about live streams during Summer League, I'm not live streaming during those games just because my dog just had surgery. So I got to keep an eye on him, making sure he doesn't go after his incisions. He's perfectly fine, but it's just, got to make sure he heals properly. And I can't run a stream, commentate a game, and watch a dog all at the same time. That out the way, let's talk about some basketball, okay? So my point of view, I just want to give you an idea of my point of view of Summer League as it relates to the Charlotte Hornets as they look to kind of figure out the roster going into next year. Because as I see it, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. These guys are locks, right, in the rotation. Right? LaMelo, Terry, Hayward, Miles, PJ, Oubre, Ish Smith, Mason Plumlee. That's 8 guys we know will be heavily used in the rotation when the season begins. Obviously, things can change as we get rolling, but when the season tips off, when the Hornets play their first game, we know 8 guys are locks for the rotation. And the question is, through Summer League, what's the 9th, 10th man gonna be? Who's gonna fill in that 11th, 12th, 13th spot? Only so many guys can play in a game, right? So what's the competition looking like to fill out the rest of the roster? The way I see it, I think James Bouknight is a lock for that backup shooting guard role. And then who fills in this backup big? By the way, these aren't my preferred starters or anything like that. I'm just putting the best 9 guys the Hornets have currently in the rotation, right? That's a video for another day who I think should start and come off the bench, etc. And I think Kai Jones is the man to be that 10th man in the rotation. I think this is the 10-man rotation we see when the season starts. If you don't think Kai Jones goes in there and that Nick Richards or Vernon Carey, whomever would fill in that role, I ain't gonna argue with you. I don't know. If I'm running the team, he gets the 10th spot. We'll talk more about Kai Jones later, but I say that to say, is Bouknight ready to back up Terry Rozier? Is Kai Jones ready to come off the bench as a 4 or a 5 or both? Can LiAngelo make his way into the rotation as a role player at the 2? There's a lot to be determined through the Summer League, and I think it's pretty fun to speculate. So that's what we're gonna do here in this video now that we're 2 games into the summer. My biggest questions about this roster going into the offseason, knowing the uncertainty around Devontae Graham and Malik Monk, understanding that those guys could leave, and now that we know they did leave, it's a bigger question now. Where's the shooting going to come from, right? How the Hornets going to improve their perimeter defense, how they're going to improve their interior defense, and where's the rebounding going to come from? So when I watch these Summer League games, I'm looking for answers to those 4 questions. And Bouknight, LiAngelo look to be the solutions in the shooting department, right? We're seeing Vernon Carey, Nick Richards, Kai Jones get out there and offer something on the interior defensive side and the rebounding side. They signed Kelly Oubre, so I feel good about the perimeter defense situation. So they're just as a whole, I think Kupchak has done a good job of addressing those question marks, in my opinion. And I think it's a matter of who is going to make that final cut to get into that final rotation, that split between, are you going to be playing in Charlotte or are you going to be playing in Greensboro? That's why my focus is on LiAngelo, Bouknight, Kai Jones, and then also Nick Richards and Vernon Carey during these Summer League games. So in this video, I'm going to focus mainly on LiAngelo, Kai Jones, and Bouknight to see, because I'm just curious what they have to offer. We saw flashes from Nick Richards. We saw flashes from Vernon Carey last year in the NBA. Nothing from these guys because they're, incoming players. So let's get into it. Actually, first, I want to give some love to the Ops, right? The first game against Portland. Salute to Michael Beasley, Fareed, and Moutier for playing in the Summer League. They clearly love basketball and are eager to be playing back in the States. So I like applause for them. They deserve that. Also on that Portland team, George King, Bouknight, and Greg Brown are kind of nasty. So the Portland might have a low-key squad over there. Enjoy that, Cody Zeller. Enjoy that. Speaking of that Portland game, that game was really fun to watch. Both teams were getting their shots up. Summer League Game 2 wasn't nearly as fun as Summer League Game 1, just because the Kings were really good at playing defense. And Davion Mitchell is a monster. It's a shame that, he's in the same rookie class with Cade, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, like these crazy, crazy prospects, because just from this one game, I may be over-exaggerating here, but Davion Mitchell could be a dark horse candidate for Rookie of the Year in any other draft. He's just in the wrong draft class because homie is a crazy defender. Like, he left that game. The Hornets couldn't get any easy bucket. They couldn't get an easy bucket to save their life unless somehow Kabolka found an open 3 attempt. And, shouts to him because he hit his shots. I rate it. But when Davion Mitchell was on the floor, the Hornets couldn't get an easy bucket. He left with like a weird back injury, and the Hornets went on a run. That's not a coincidence. And then he came back into the game, he being Davion Mitchell, and that was over with. Kings went on a run again, iced out the game. James Bouknight couldn't get anything easy. Jello couldn't get anything easy. Like, Davion Mitchell changed the flow of both teams positively for his team and negatively for our team by being on the court. So if you're a Kings fan and you're watching this, you got a really good young player on your hands. I'm sure you already know that. You don't need me to tell you that. But I want to give some love to Davion Mitchell because homie is nice. How good is this to see? Miles, LaMelo, and Borrego in Vegas watching the game together. Things you love to see. One thing that was a little weird is like LaMelo's still doing this. Like, I hope he's good. I hope he's good. He's still working the wrist on the sideline. Let's talk about Bouknight. All right, I have a bunch of notes from both games, and as you saw on the tier maker list I made, it's his job to replace Malik Monk. It's a tall order. Okay, Malik Monk is a monster. I'm still pissed he's on the Lakers. It is what it is. All right, it is what it is. But first impressions from James Bouknight through 2 Summer League games. He exhibited a ton of hustle and ambition, right? He seemed very eager to make something happen on the court offensively and defensively with some mixed results mixed in, but mostly in the positive. He's shown the ability to get a shot off the dribble, right? And also an ability to find an open teammate in the half court. I also was very happy to see that he had an opportunity to be a playmaker, bringing the ball up the floor, right? At UConn, the knock was he wasn't much of a playmaker, just a shot creator and a catch and shoot type of player. And according to him and UConn fans, that wasn't his job. His job was to get buckets in college and not necessarily create for others. So through each game, in both games, game 1 and game 2, he had plenty of opportunities to bring the ball up the floor. At times, found himself in trouble, got ripped or stripped here and there. But when a mistake was made, he has a short memory. He wasn't letting a bad possession, like a previous bad possession, interfere with a future possession, which I really like. That mentality, I think, is very strong for a player like him, a rookie, that's going to make a lot of mistakes because he's a rookie. It's important not to dwell on those mistakes and just look to do better next time. I think he has that gene, and it makes me happy and confident that he can contribute as a rookie immediately in year 1. I was impressed by his dribbling and his shooting. There was a moment he had the ball 10 seconds left at the end of the first half in game 1 against the Blazers. It was pretty clear he was going to take that shot. Right? And everyone in the building knew he was going to take it. And it was up to the defender to stop him. He didn't. Bouknight got him off the dribble, heaved up a 3, drained it clean with like a like just a fraction of a second left on the clock. I love that killer mentality. He knew he was going to take the shot. He knew he wanted the shot. Everyone knew he was going to take the shot, and no one could stop him. I love that. He's pretty slick getting to the rim as well, Bouknight is. He's not really elevating over guys, but using his quickness and first step to, cut through and find space, and using his agility to bob and weave to get a clean lay-in. It's nice that he's not shying away from contact either. He's a smallish guy, being, 20 years old. So, needs some time to really get an NBA body. I don't want him taking too much of a beating, especially early on in his career. But he's eager to get into the paint, and shoot his free throws, which he's pretty good at converting as well. So I like his aggression, his skill set, and I think it's pretty clear what type of player he wants to be or can be as he rounds out his game, as he improves his shooting efficiency and decision-making, especially in the half court. Also, if anyone knows this, please let me know. I noticed it after he makes his free throws. He gives one of these, like a strong, fist pump. It's just something, like a small thing he does to himself, not over dramatic at all, just a little yes, I did it type of thing. I like it. That's cool. It's endearing. It's endearing. I don't know if there's a story behind it or if it's nothing, but if you know, hit me up. Kai Jones. I love this kid. All right. He's very raw. I feel like he's going to hurt himself. He wants to dunk on everybody, every single possession. It makes me concerned. He needs a veteran to tell him to chill. He needs a veteran to tell him to chill in a constructive way, because there's times where he's leaping or taking crazy shots he shouldn't be taking. And I kind of wish we had a Draymond Green on the team in the summer league to be like, hey, stop it. You need to relax. He's putting the team in bad positions with those bad shot attempts, and I'm scared he's going to hurt himself with these crazy dunk attempts. So I love the enthusiasm, the energy, but he needs to just reel it in just a notch, because I think he's going to have a very long NBA career, and I'm concerned he's not going to be able to withstand the rigors of the NBA if it continues down this path. But it's just the second Summer League game. I'm not too worried about it. Just something that is in the back of my mind as he tries to jump out the gym every single possession. Because this kid, his enthusiasm on the court translates to his personality as well. First time I heard him talk was draft night, and then on the reveal or whatever, when they had the rookies come in their press conferences. This kid drips charisma. He's very likable, strong personality, and he has I can tell people who don't follow the Hornets closely, this kid. It's like if it was in a Disney movie and a 10-year-old became a basketball player, became a 6'10" super athlete and was in the NBA. That's what his personality is. He's just so happy to be here and so eager to work and get better. I love Kai Jones. And then when he put that dunk in, that Dwight Howard dunk contest throw in, oh my God. I wasn't watching the game live. I watched it on DVR at 11 o'clock on my couch. And I jumped out my seat when that happened. I might have blacked out. I couldn't believe what I saw. And so I went to Twitter, because right after that dunk, Steve Smith, all right? My real last name is Smith. I know. Breaking the fourth wall. It's not Dracula. Yeah, my real last name is Smith. So I have an affinity for anyone named Smith, all right? I consider them family even though they're not. Steve Smith on the commentary desk, after that crazy dunk, said, Kai Jones needs a nickname. You know the nickname he came up with? Umbrella. Yeah, Umbrella. No, Steve Smith. That is a bad nickname. I went to Twitter and I suggested 3. Sky Kai, Kai High, Fly Jones. Fly Jones is my favorite one. What do you think Kai Jones' nickname should be? Because I think he has a strong possibility of being a fan favorite if he continues this, between his off-the-court personality and what he does on the court, being a very dynamic individual on the court who's a little overzealous at times. But I do like he's a willing shooter from 3. He's not afraid to fail, and I think that's important for a young player, because that's how you learn to get better, by failure and not letting that get to you. Like I talked about with Bouknight having a short memory, something goes wrong one possession, don't worry about it. Just do better next time. I love that. I want to see that from the young players. And I think with our 2 first-round draft picks, we're seeing that in abundance. So before we get into LiAngelo, I want to just talk about some other players briefly. Vernon Carey, I thought he looked to be in great shape. He looked like he was welcoming contact and second defenders in the post, like not afraid of those situations and getting a shot up. Like Kai Jones, I thought Vernon Carey was a willing shooter from 3 as well. It's just, I mentioned that just because just look at Cody Zeller and Bismack's shot chart and you'll know why I'm mentioning this. Scotty Lewis didn't play in game 2. He was a scratch. I know that for sure. He got injured during game 1 and then came back, and then we didn't get to see him in game 2. I thought at times he looked a little lost with the ball. Wasn't overly impressed, but he's a second-round pick. I know he has a lot of talent, and he was a highly touted recruit coming out of high school. So one game, not killing him for that. Not really seeing what I need to see from Grant Riller. I think one of the reasons the Hornets struggled a lot against the Kings in game 2 was because there wasn't a lot of like shot creation for other people. Just the Kings were so active on defense. There weren't a lot of open shot opportunities. There wasn't a lot of playmaking going on. But I thought, on the flip side, I thought DJ Carton looked very good. You know, he's not a shooter, but his handle and ability to get to the paint and then like that dribble and drive or drive and dish game from him was not bad. So I was impressed by DJ Carton. One of the stars from game 2, Cole Bolka. I love what I saw from him. I think he had 3 or 4 threes in the game. Number doesn't matter. Really, really solid release from him. Really a lot of confidence passing from him as well. So he's a long-term project. Maybe I think he goes in the G League, so I don't want to spend too much time on that as far as like next season goes, but he has some promise. I like what I saw from him. And then lastly, JT Thor got his Summer League debut in game 2 against the Kings. Not a lot to show for it. To his credit, you know, he airballed a 3 and then got to steal the next possession to kind of make up for it. So I like that from him, but not killing him for it is just one of those things where I need to see a lot more before I have a harsh judgment on what he has to offer. But I like Kubalka, I think, and like Scotty Lewis. Those are long-term like projects for the Hornets. I don't think we see them with the main team this year. Main event time. Let's talk about LiAngelo. All right. I don't care about his numbers. I don't care. It's Summer League. That goes for any player, either team. I don't care how many points he scored or whatever. I don't care. What I do care about is how you're moving and the shots you are taking and what you're doing on the floor, right? And with LiAngelo, I was curious about his movement, right? He's not very quick. I don't think it's going to be a problem in the next level at all because he knows where to be. Like there's very little wasted motion in LiAngelo Ball's game, which I was very impressed by. I was very impressed by that. Because when you're not a really great athlete, you need to be economical with your movements. Otherwise, you're caught out of position, offensively and defensively. And I thought LiAngelo was moved very well on both sides of the floor. So starting with the offensive side, when he came into the game, I think it started off the second quarter, they ran a play for him. He ran through 2 screens, got an open 3 attempt, and drained it. That told me, A, the coaching staff want to get him involved. They're backing LiAngelo. They believe in him because they could have easily just ran him out there and not done anything to put him in any position to succeed. So I thought that was a very good sign that his first time on the floor, they ran a play for him specifically. Love that. And I love that he made the most of that opportunity and showed off his quick release, because that's the second thing I want to get into, because I know he hit a bunch of shots in game 1. They looked good. They didn't look like flukes. They looked like quick shots that when you're a slower player, you need when the defender's closing down on you. And he has the confidence and cojones to hit that shot with someone in his face. I love that. I look at that as transferable skills to the NBA. There's a definite pathway between what he exhibited in game 1 and in game 2, if I'm honest with you, to an NBA career. So I loved it. I love what I saw from LiAngelo. And then the fans loved it too. I love that he was getting "We Want Jello" chants. It was great. It was a great atmosphere for these Summer League games. And if we're being honest, that's what they're there for, to be fun. Like, I'm here to have fun. That's why I'm pissed off at the Kings for being tryhards in game 2 and ruining the fun for everybody. So going back to LiAngelo, I just was very impressed by his basketball IQ, you know, dodging screens, contesting jumpers, you know, not getting blocks, but still being in the defender's face. That tells me he knows where to be at the right time, and he puts the effort forward. Even on the glass, there was a moment in game 2 where he bricked a 3, got his own rebound, put up a layup, got fouled, and converted the and one. Like, what more do you want? That's effort, that's skill, that's determination. And as the Summer League continues, I hope we get to see more of it. He cares. He wants to be good. He wants to be great. And the Hornets can be beneficiaries of that if they, you know, give him that opportunity. So when I go back to this here, right? Who is going to be the 11th, 12th, and 13th man on this team? LiAngelo is doing, I think, everything he can do through 2 Summer League games. Like, I don't want to overstate it. It's just the Summer League. But through 2 Summer League games, LiAngelo is doing what exactly he should be doing to try to fight for that 11th, 12th, 13th spot in the rotation. Because this competition, Cody Martin, Jalen McDaniels, the one dude who the Hornets just traded for, and that Devontae deal, Vernon Carey, Nick Richards. I know that there's not like a positional like-for-like competition, but there's only so many spots to go around. I think LiAngelo's putting his best foot forward in these first 2 games, and everyone seems to really dig him as a person, as a teammate. And as long as he's putting the effort in, I think he has a future in Charlotte, not just in Greensboro, but in Charlotte, as a really solid role player that's in the right place at the right time and can hit an open shot. And if you need to run a play for him, you can feel confident that he can get a shot up without getting blocked and have a good chance at going in. But again, I got to throw the caveat. I got a big old blanket, a big old disclaimer blanket to throw over this entire video. Anything I say needs to be taken with a grain of salt, because a reminder to myself and you listening and everyone out there that this is just Summer League. It's okay to get excited. Nothing wrong with getting hyped, but you just got to remember that it's just Summer League, just Summer League. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me, especially if you made it to this part of the video. Hey, listen, what do you think about the Summer League thus far, these first 2 games? Who are your standouts? Like, Nick Richards has been playing well lately. Obviously, LiAngelo, I know a lot of people will be fans of him and what he's been doing, myself included. Bouknight, what do you think about Bouknight? What do you think about Kai Jones? Anyone else jumping out at you from this young Summer League roster? Let me know in the comments, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. Reach out to me. My Discord is wide open. Join, link in the description. But hey, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let's go Hornets. Let's make the playoffs. I was a little early for that, but let's make the playoffs. Come on, boys. I'm out of here. Thank you so much. Peace.